Okay, welcome to the December Board of Education meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for attending, and I just want to wish everyone here and everyone watching in our entire community a wonderful holiday season with your family and your friends. We'll all make the most of it, I know. We're going to begin with approval of the minutes of the meeting of November 15th, 2021. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Ms. Falcove. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Approval of the minutes of special meetings November 29th and December 6th, 2021. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Koshia, seconded by Mr. Gershon. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, Dr. Rivero, can we have the treasurer's report?
Yes. As indicated in the treasurer's report, the cash on hand for the month end October 31st, 2021 was $86,977,225.30. All bank balances for all cash accounts were reconciled to the book balances and were collateralized in accordance with the district's banking policy and investment agreements.
Thank you, Dr. Rufo. May I have a motion to adopt the treasurer's report? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Mr. Greco. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Dr. Rogers, the superintendent's report, please.
Thank you very much, and I'll add my holiday wishes to yours, to everyone here and watching at home. I do hope that everyone has some time off over the break and gets to enjoy friends and family, and I wish everyone a wonderful new year. With that said, we get to learn a little bit about what's happening as we bring this year to a close from our student representatives in student government at H.B. Thompson Middle School. So if we may have your attention, please.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education and members of the administration. We are happy to present to you this evening. My name is Yugan Triganesh, and I am an 8th grader at HBT Middle School.
And my name is Gina Lee, and I'm a 6th grader at HBT. We are both members of the Student Activity Club. Tonight, we are here to tell you about all the great things the student and staff of HBT have been doing since school started.
We were so happy to be back at school and to resume so many activities. Our membership in clubs has soared this year. There's a club for every single interest. We have new clubs this year, such as the Wellness Club and the Women in Leadership Club. Fall sports were back, and we couldn't have been happier. It was so great to be out on the field again. The Mural Club is continuing the project that was started before COVID. They're continuing to paint outside every classroom door. The murals include subject area pictures, room numbers, and general murals throughout the school. They really are making the hallways beautiful.
The HBT Coding Club is gearing up for Code Conquest 2022. Tryouts are being held through December, and they will head into the new year with our team practicing and training for the competition in March. Our mentors are also preparing and teaching lessons each week for our members to strengthen and improve their coding skills.
During Math Fair Club, we are preparing for the Long Island Math Fair on March 22nd, 2022. Each student selects a mathematics topic, writes a 5 to 8 page research paper, and presents their research using Flipgrid. The judges will review each student's paper and Flipgrid video and award each student either a gold, silver, or bronze medal.
To spread awareness of drug abuse, our Peers as Leaders Club hosted Red Ribbon Week in October. Students were able to dress up each day to show their understanding of the topic. It was a fun week.
During each Girls Who Code Club meeting, the students learn about the contributions of a female computer scientist. Currently, the students are making holiday-themed coding projects. On December 23rd, the students will decorate a sugar cookie based on instructions written by their partner. This activity helps students understand conceptually how computer algorithms work.
Our Model UN Club is very popular at HBT. Student delegates have been focusing upon practicing and strengthening key public speaking skills by engaging in student-led debate. This will serve as a basis for future simulations delegates will engage in, within which they adopt a perspective of a stakeholder group and work together to create a resolution to address a specified world issue.
October was a busy month for all of us. We had many exciting events for all the students. Our drama club put on a series of vignettes this year, with 2 to 3 students participating in each scene. Students were able to come out of their shells and show off their inner acting talents. The AV Club was responsible for running cables, controlling the soundboard, setting up microphones, and handling the lighting for the show.
One of our newest clubs is the HBT Women in Leadership Club. Members are collecting donations of women career-appropriate clothing, shoes, and accessories for charity, Just for Success. Just for Success is a global non-for-profit organization that empowers women to achieve economic independence by providing a network of support and professional attire to help women thrive in work and in life. Members are also composing their own found poems, focusing on themes surrounding identity and empowerment.
As always, our Student Activity Club has been very busy. We started encouraging students and staff to participate in our Fun Friday each week. We pick a theme that coincides with events going on and have a mini Spirit Day. Some of our past themes include Pajama Day, Disney Day, and Country Western Day. In the spirit of Halloween, we held our first Halloween hangout for the 6th graders and 7th graders. Over 250 kids attended. It was held outside and students were able to dance, play cornhole, and hang out with friends. It was a great afternoon.
Student Activity Club sponsored our annual Thanksgiving food drive. We partnered with Island Harvest and it was a huge success. We collected so many needed items. For the month of December, HBT is once again a busy place. There will be a holiday movie shown after school tomorrow, a toy drive, and a Deck the Halls competition. Next week, we will be excited that Spirit Week is returning to HBT. It is a school-wide grade-level competition. All students will compete in activities such as basketball layup, name that tune, balloon pop, and more. We are looking forward to a fun week.
Winter sports are in full swing and HBT is dominating on the basketball and volleyball courts. We hope that the year of 2022 will be just as exciting as the start of 2021. We look forward to the academic challenges and amazing events coming up in the new year. Thank you for your time and happy holidays from the HBT family.
I know our students speak for all of us when they express their enthusiasm for being back this year in something that more closely approximates normal than last year did. And I know we're also really excited that our athletics program was able to start in the fall so that our students would be able to have full athletic seasons. That hasn't been without complications. Obviously, busing has been a challenge, and that's created some other difficulties. But for myself, I resolved to try and get to as many of our sporting events this fall as I possibly could, and our teams did not disappoint this number one fan because we enjoyed some tremendous successes this year. And to tell us about them is our coordinator of physical education, Mr. Drew, and athletics director, Mr. Drew Cronin.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers, and happy holidays to everyone as well. Yes, the fall it was nice to get back and start our fall season the way we have from the years prior. I want to thank all the central administration, the Board of Education, and everyone involved for being so supportive through some trying times and allowing us to participate the way we know we can. We did have a very successful season, and our coaches did an outstanding job. in preparing our young men and women to participate in any competitions that we had. I'd like to call a few of them up with some special awards and recognitions that they earned throughout the fall season. Some of the coaches are competing tonight, so they can't make it, so I'll take one of them. And one other coach just couldn't be here, unfortunately. But they really, really do sing the praises of this program. And with your support, we'd like to continue through the winter and follow our successes. The first person I'd like to call up is Mr. Mike Murtha. He's our boys badminton coach. Mr. Murtha was also the 2021 Nassau County Coach of the Year. And Mr. Murtha will go through some of the highlights for boys badminton.
I guess I could say I would never think I would be up here for badminton since I'm a football wrestling guy, but I guess if you, with YouTube today and all the things we've done in the phys ed coaching, teaching badminton over the years, it was a pleasure taking the program over. I want to thank all of you too, especially the Board of Ed, for putting in the facility that you guys put in this year. The last couple of years, it's been great, especially the strength and conditioning room. I run all the classes in there during the school day, and that's something I just wanted to say thank you. I don't get a chance to see all you, so I wanted to say thank you in person. But that definitely has aided to the decrease of injuries and the increase of our strength and conditioning program with Coach Gagstetter as well. As far as the season, again, we had another successful season. These kids do a lot of stuff on the outside. They take some of the advice I give them. It's very important that the kids train beyond just our regular season. And with that being said, I'd like to say two-time All-County Award doubles player is Eddie Duang. All-County first-time doubles player, Hagen Liu. Ashok Mutala did something kind of special. He was an All-County doubles player last year, and then he jumped up to the singles this year as a junior. He was All-County as well, awarded in that this year. Casey Simon, All-County doubles. Armand Walia, All-County doubles. We had a set of twins for the first time. They both were doubles players, All-County, and that's Josh Yu and Ryan Yu. I'd just like to say farewell also to our two seniors, Eddie Duang and Armand Walia. It's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to hear the great things that you guys do in the future. Thank you, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mike. Our track coaches / cross-country coaches are working this evening, so they wrote a brief narrative here regarding Mr. Jordan Altman, All-County State Qualifier, and a Federation Meet Qualifier, along with Stephen Berg. Now, these kids were running cross-country. They trained over 500 miles in the summer in preparation for the season, and I'll just read a brief blurb that they wrote. Jordan placed 5th at the county championship, earning him all county awards. Jordan ran his biggest and best races when it counted, placing 3rd at the state qualifier meet, earning him a trip to the state championships in Binghamton. There he took 39th place and qualified for the prestigious New York State Federation meet. He currently is in the top 15 returning runners in the state, and we can't wait for him for next year, Mr. Jordan Altman. Mr. Stephen Berg also trained 500 miles in the summer, saw drastic improvements in his performance from last year, placed 22nd in the 5K at the county championships, earning him all county honors. His work ethic, leadership, on team positivity impacts all of his teammates. We will miss him next year. Boys cross country, very successful season once again, not to mention that they probably have over 95 to 100 kids running in orderly fashion, communicating with the office all the time, allowing these kids, giving the kids the best opportunity that they can to succeed. Girls cross country, an amazing season as well. Coach Mr. Michael Spiteri. He wrote a brief blurb as well. The girls cross country team won the team county championships this fall. This marks the 10th championship in a row. Of the 121 runners in the race representing 17 schools, the girls placed 9 out of the top 23 places, earning all county honors. The girls are Samantha Mayer, Nicole Conklin, Yui Hoshino, Melissa Tanieri, Emily Berg, Mallory Nitnit, Crystal Rastami, Ashley Wong, and Morgan Engel. Congratulations to the girls cross country team. Football. Football had the opportunity to make it to the top 4 teams in our conference, which is quite an accomplishment considering the level of competition. There's 4 young men that stood out as all-county athletes. Quinn Brogy was all-county, Luca Catolo was all-county, Matthew Ranges all-county, and Robert Trapio as well. In addition, Luca Catolo was Nassau County's most outstanding receiver, which is a tremendous award, and was presented to him at the football all-county dinner just a few weeks ago. These young men, along with their team, worked throughout the summer in the weight room, worked throughout the fall, and you had to get tested, and there was a lot going on, and there was a little bit of adversity that they had to overcome, but they did it, and they did it with, I don't want to say professionalism, but they did it as young men who came to practice every day, respected our protocols, and did the right thing, thus allowing them to reach the pinnacle of top 4, where they ultimately did lose at Hofstra, but they put up a heck of a fight against a really tough team. So congratulations to the football program. I'd now like to bring up Mr. Brett Waxer, our boys varsity soccer coach.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Rogers, Central and District Administration, and the Board of Ed. I could just tell you for a matter of fact that not many schools have the support that we get. I could tell you every home game we turn around and someone was there to support us, and then many away games. So it's greatly appreciated by myself and then Coach Pedicini, but from the players. So thank you guys for the continued support. Mr. Cronin, thank you as well. You really just instilled the trust in us to run our programs, and we greatly appreciate that. Thank you. The boys varsity soccer team had a great season. We set a school record with 10 clean sheets, which means a shutout, and only 8 goals conceded throughout the playoffs, which included a total of 17 games. We unfortunately lost 2-1 in the Nassau County semifinals, but we are very proud of all our boys. Tonight I am here to recognize 2 players, both who happen to be captains of our team this fall. Senior captain Cole Nevins earned himself All-County this year. He was also recognized as Newsday's top 100 players on Long Island. He was Class AA Goalkeeper of the Year, Conference Player of the Year, and was an All-State nominee. Unbeknownst to Cole, but I feel like everyone should know now, he was also recognized as Newsday's All Long Island second team, which will be published next week. Sophomore captain Sawyer Wayne earned himself All-County this year. He won Class AA Defensive Player of the Year, and he was the Ralph Whitney Award winner for all of Class AA. This means that he was a top voted player for AA at the state level. Sawyer is also our first sophomore in 20-plus years to make the All-State team. He was just announced that he just made the 6th team for All-State. And lastly, Sawyer was also, unbeknownst to him, named to the Newsday All Long Island second team. The Braves are a brotherhood, and both boys understand that because of their teammates' efforts, they were able to be recognized for all their great honors. So again, I just want to say thank you on a personal level. Ms. Frankel, Mr. Gershon, I had your kids, so it's thank you for the journey that you provided and support. So thank you guys, and have a great holiday.
Thank you, Coach Waxer. I'd like to bring up Mr. Joe Marquetta, who is our coach of our women's soccer team.
Good evening. This year was another very successful year for our girls varsity soccer team, making our 4th county final appearance in the last 4 seasons. And on top of winning half of those, this year is the first year that every player on this team can say that they have made it to a county final every year that they've been on the team. So it's been a really great run the last few years, and this year was no exception. We had some outstanding player recognitions and 4 players who I'm presenting this evening. So as we go from, different order, as we go from left to right, Riley Miller. For 4 seasons, Riley has been an anchor for this team in the defensive midfield position and has also stepped up to some outstanding and highly competitive performances in our back line, for which this year Riley was recognized as the Conference AA1 Defensive Player of the Year. In addition, Riley once again received all-county honors this season and was once again named to Long Island's top 100 players for Newsday. And Riley also once again received All-State honors this year, making second-team All-State. Riley will be attending Emory University next year, where she will be playing for their women's soccer program. Next, we have Emma Romano. Emma finished the season our team's assist leader and was tied for 3rd in assist in the county assist leaders. Emma received all county honors and was once again named to Newsday's Long Island Top 100 Players. In addition, Emma received all-state honors, making second-team All-State this year as an outside back. This past weekend, Emma participated in the girls soccer high school All-American game in Tennessee this year and was a recipient, one of only 21 players in the eastern United States to be awarded this very prestigious honor, and only 43 players nationwide. Emma will attend the U.S. Naval Academy next year, where she will compete for their women's soccer program. Next, we have Bella Romano. Bella finished the season the team's leading scorer and was 3rd in the county for leading goal scorers. This year, once again, Bella received all county honors, was named to Newsday's Long Island Top 100 Players, as well as received all-state honors this year, making first-team All-State as a forward. This past weekend, Bella also participated in the high school All-American game and was one of those 21 to represent the Eastern U.S. Bella will also attend U.S. Naval Academy next year, where she will play alongside her sister for their women's soccer program. And lastly, we have goalkeeper Eve Waldhauser. The last couple of seasons, Eve has put forth some tremendous performances in goal, most notably on the big stage in the county finals. And this year, Eve received all county honors and was also recognized as the conference AA1 goalkeeper of the year. One thing I forgot to mention about Riley, that was the first year that the defensive player of the year was offered. And same thing this year with the goalkeeper of the year. So our program happened to get both of them the first year they were offered. In addition, Eve once again was named to Long Island's Top 100 for Newsday. And Eve will be attending University of Binghamton next year, where she will continue her playing career in goal and make an outstanding addition to their women's soccer program. So I would also like to reiterate the expressions of gratitude from Coach Waxer. Our program as well really appreciate all the support on the sidelines, and thanks to everyone who made it out to a bunch of our games as well, and for the administrative support by Mr. Cronin and his staff as well. Thanks very much.
I think before we get to the next team, just want to briefly state that athletics are a component of the overall education system, and we believe strongly in athletics. But as you can see, our students go on to bigger and better things and go into prestigious colleges and do really wonderful things and come back and share their experiences with us. And that's the most important thing, as we understand that not everybody can be a starter, not everybody can be a star, but if you take your role and you understand the importance of athletics, it really can be a rewarding experience for everyone, and that's our goal. I'd now like to move on to Coach Cipollino with girls swimming and diving, who also had an outstanding year. Coach Cipollino.
First, I'd like to thank Dr. Rogers, the Board of Education, all of our district administrators, and a very big thank you to Mr. Cronin for all the support the swimming and diving program has received. It was such a pleasure coaching this group of girls. I'm so proud of them, not just for their success this season, but also for their dedication, work ethic, and positive spirit. This was a year of many firsts for the girls team. made possible by their extraordinary effort that they put forth last spring into the summer and all fall. Strength training in the early morning, making use of the new fitness center, which has been a game changer for our program. Diving practice before school, afternoon swimming practice. The training in and out of season certainly is not easy, but we have a group of girls who enjoy working hard to improve, all while having fun in the process. With all of that hard work, we were able to greatly outperform our ranking heading into the season. We won a division championship for the first time in school history and went undefeated during our dual meet season to win the Conference 1 championship, also for the first time in school history. We also had 5 swimmers represent Syosset in the New York State Championship meet. Freshman Caroline Hugh, sophomores Amelie Ang and Megan Hugh. Megan had an outstanding performance at the state meet, placing 6th in the 100 breaststroke, and Christina Singh and Cadence O'Donnell. We're looking forward to continuing to build off of our success from this year, and we thank you very much for all of your continued support. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. I'd now like to bring up Mr. Shai Fisher, who also and his girls had a tremendous season for our girls' tennis team. Coach Fisher.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to Dr. Rogers, our Board of Education, our high school administrative team, Mr. Cronin. It truly is a collaborative team effort. To the members of the community and the parents, all the successes we've achieved this year. It's been one magical, epic run. We started out with Newsday honoring 4 of our girls in the Newsday Top 30, and although we were underdogs to start the year, we definitely did not finish that way. We had an undefeated regular season. We were conference champions. We then moved on through the playoffs. We were Nassau County champions for 2 years in a row now, 3 out of the last 4. We then moved on to a Long Island championship, which we won. And for the first time ever in Syosset history, we kept advancing. We got to the state semifinal. We won that. And we got all the way to the state finals. And even though we lost a heartbreaker, this was a Syosset unheard of run for these girls. You know, they were so not used to losing. They were like, oh no, we finished second. And, you know, all the girls and the parents, myself, were like, girls, you finished second in the state out of 445 teams. Be proud of yourselves. So finally reality set in, and then of course, they were very happy. The success is not only on the court, but off the court. The 2 new courts that we've put in has been a huge asset to the program, directly correlated to the team GPA, which the team GPA wound up as a 96.98753, something to that effect. But everyone was very appreciative that we finished our matches an hour and a half earlier. As far as individual accolades, you see 9 ladies up on the screen. These 9 ladies earned all county. Isha Kaushik, Rachel Lynn, Zia Mukherjee, Mia Silverman, Olivia Tigerman, Manami Wakazono, Alexa Brescher, Sarah Gao, and Alex Ho. It must have been some sort of Long Island record because I've never had a team, and I don't know of any team that has had 9 all-county players in one season. Out of the 9, 4 girls earned all state honors. That was Isha Kaushik, Alex Ho, and 2 of the girls for the second year in a row got all state, and that's Alexa Brescher and Rachel Lynn. I would be remiss to not point out that we had 2 captains that I would just like to mention, because without them leading the team, you know, I'll say Dr. Durante always says it's not only about math, science, English, and the core subject, it's about character. And these 2 girls were captains for our team for 2 years in a row, and they lead by example with how to carry yourself on the court and off the court. Special thank you to Alexa Brescher and Alex Ho. You will truly be missed. This was one magical run, and looking forward to hopefully topping it off next year. Thank you.
I'd like to now bring up Coach Liz Christensen, who will cover the accolades of both boys volleyball and girls volleyball.
Coach Aquero couldn't be with us tonight. All County, Jalen Lee, an outstanding young man whose passion on the court is just so much fun to watch, and led his team to just a phenomenal season. The boys volleyball team made it to the county semifinals this year, and it was something special to watch as most of us went. And Jalen had a great day that game and a great season and received all county honors. Erica Barzone is a 5-year varsity player. That's a rare thing in girls volleyball, to have a young player be so talented. She's been a starter since midway through her 8th grade year and has led our team in kills and defensive stats for the last 3 seasons. She's a senior captain, one of the hardest working players on the court. She's humble and supportive of her teammates. She's a true student athlete. She's been involved with the business program at the high school, is a Girl Scout, and is always found either in a volleyball court or on the beach playing the game. She graduates our program as one of the most decorated players we've ever had. She's a 3-time All-County player, including this year, selected to 4 straight playoff all-tournament teams, and was a Newsday Top 50 player this year, and has led us to the last 3 county final games. Dreams do come true, kid, because I know she's watching right now. It was her dream to play college volleyball and study business. Erica is committed to Bentley University to play volleyball, and where she will study business next year, and we wish her the best. A lot of very special kids that have graduated out of our program the past 3 years. So Mr. Cronin, Dr. Rogers, administration, Board of Ed, we've all said it. Thank you so much for supporting us, especially through this last little over a year. Protocols, the kids have done everything we've asked them to do because they just wanted to play. And what we've gotten out of it with the fitness center and the teams is an incredible amount of family amongst all of our teams and the support for each other, as well as this coaching staff, who are the best. We all love working together, and we're there for each other. And I couldn't walk away without just letting you know how much I also appreciate it. Thank you very much, and happy holidays.
So, to wrap it up, once again, I've worked in 3 different districts. I've never seen anything quite like the support that everyone that's involved in any program here in Syosset receives. And we can thank you, but the bottom line is it's put to practice. Whenever the resource is needed, whenever something is needed, when we reach out, it's always received positively, and I can't thank you enough for that, because this is my 8th year here. And it just keeps getting better and better, so thank you for that. And one last thing, the teams noted here today we just received that they were New York State Scholar Athletes, so the majority of our teams got that. Not got it, earned it. And we're real proud of them for that, and they'll each be receiving a pin noting that they could put on their jacket. But thanks again. Thank you, Dr. Rogers, as always. We always say the best time of the day is 4 o'clock or 4:30 or 5 now when we go out to the field or the court or the pool or the track or wherever, and we really mean that. And thank you. And I have to thank these coaches for coming out tonight because it was above and beyond. So thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Cronin. You run an extraordinary program, and the success of our athletes is because of all the hard work of our coaches, and a special shout out to Mr. Murtha. Congratulations on winning Coach of the Year. And I know that our repeated success is because your whole department pulls together as a team. You all support one another. You do a great job with our young people. And I have to say, it's wonderful to hear about things that we have been doing over a very long period of time, like the fitness center or the new tennis courts, and hearing words like game changer for our kids, and knowing that those investments have really paid off in a way that's been meaningful for kids and their sense of success just makes all the work that went into those projects worthwhile. So thank you all for coming out and giving up your night to share these updates with our board and celebrate our student athletes. I really appreciate it. And because I know you all have families, I'm going to offer you a graceful exit right now if you wish to take it. But in a moment, we are going to celebrate not just our athletics, but our arts programs, and do one of our favorite holiday traditions here, which is celebrate a little bit of a cappella music with a little bit of a holiday flair. So our adolescents will be doing their annual rendition. This is their annual tradition, their rendition of White Christmas, and we have a couple other treats for you as well.
Jingle, 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 jingle all the way. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride. Soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank. Misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and we got upside. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. I'm particularly partial to a cappella music. I don't know why, I just am. So I can't help but hum along with them, and I hope I didn't disturb Ms. Cheng or Ms. Frankel with my humming. That was me, yes. This is the time of year when the board adopts a calendar. The calendar is in the agenda. It will be posted online, assuming the board adopts it tonight. And last year, the state gave school districts the ability to do virtual snow days where instruction would take place virtually when inclement weather kept the district from being able to open and it wasn't safe for transportation to work. The question, it's still possible to do that again this year. The state renewed that authority. The question is, what's our perspective on that? The answer is little changed from last year. So we found that there were several days last year where it seemed that the weather was not only going to be hazardous for driving, but it was likely to impact power continuity and internet service around Long Island. It seemed like those would be poor days to choose for trying to make remote instruction work. If we see similar circumstances again this year, we'll have a traditional snow day rather than try to force the infrastructure to do something that it's not prepared to do. But we also said last year that we would try to use that to manage the calendar so that we didn't find ourselves at the end of the year and running out of days. And so we'll have that same perspective again this year. As always, we try to give people as much notice as we can, but we all know that the weather is unpredictable. So when we start getting into inclement weather, obviously make sure that you check the district website, email, Facebook page. We'll try to give you as much notice as we possibly can about what our plans are if we do see something on the horizon. So it may be a mix of traditional and virtual snow days, and it will really depend on just how bad the weather is and just where we are in terms of the calendar. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. Thank you to our musical groups today. That was really beautiful. We really enjoyed it. Are there any questions from the board about the calendar? Okay, moving on. Dr. Rufo, can you please give us the report from the Citizens Advisory Committee for Finance?
Yes. The first meeting of the Advisory Committee for Finance was held on November 17th. We reviewed the reports of both the external and internal auditors. First, we went through the annual risk assessment that showed that of the 53 areas evaluated by the auditors, 50 of those were determined to be low control risk. We discussed the 3 areas identified as moderate control risk, payroll, accounting, and reporting related to a form that was used. for federal grants. We went over some comments on permission and access controls for IT and student data reporting. We also reviewed the internal auditor's in-depth report on payroll processing. We discussed the reports of the external auditor and the adoption of GASB 84, which required a change in the reporting of fiduciary accounts, and most notably in the area of extra classroom activities, which are now part of the district's financial statements. We reviewed revenues and expenditures for the 2021 school year and briefly discussed cybersecurity controls and policies, the new internal auditors that have started their work in the district, and just the process for the budget for 22-23. And our next meeting is scheduled for January 13th.
Thank you, Dr. Ruffo. There's no correspondence or legislative items, and before we begin audience to the public, I'll just go through a few of our rules. There is a ledger at the podium, so when you come up, and you must be a resident to do so, please identify yourself to the board with your name and address, and please put your name and address in the ledger. That will help if we're unable to answer your questions tonight, but we would like to follow up with you. Please know that you have 4 minutes to address the board with either questions or comments. After you've completed the 4 minutes, we're going to ask you to please take your seat. If you have not been able to complete your thought after that 4 minutes, and everyone else in the audience has had their opportunity to ask questions, should there be time, we'll allow you to come back up for an additional 4 minutes to finish your thought. At the end of that time, we will do our best to answer your questions if we can, and if we cannot, for some reason, we will do our best to follow up with you. There is no polling of board members, and we will not entertain any comments in connection with specific personnel or specific students. So with that in mind, please come up if you have anything to ask the board or comment on.
Good evening. My name is Desi Gaeta. I live at 15 Crestwood Street in Syosset. First, as having twin 10th graders, one who participates in the varsity sports program and one who participates in the music program, I'm very appreciative of the resources and support for these extracurriculars, so thank you. Tonight I'm here to address my concerns and understand the rationale behind the district's current COVID protocol and quarantine policy. One of my sons was at an extracurricular last week, and there was a student there who apparently tested positive for COVID. My son, I think he or she, I don't know, may have had her mask off for a short period of time, certainly under 15 minutes. And was not in close proximity to my son. My son, who's vaccinated, fully vaccinated, and was fully masked, everybody has confirmed that, throughout the afternoon, was still forced to quarantine at home, which, and he, I should also add, he has no underlying compromising medical conditions. So I'm not quite sure why the policy is such that forces him to stay home when he's followed all the protocol. Neither the state nor the local health departments require that he be quarantined, and I think for good reason, because where we are at this stage, and based on the facts and data that we have today, it's simply not warranted to keep a vaccinated student home. I understand and I fully am aware that there's been a recent uptick in cases, but fear of positivity rate should not be the deciding factor here, again, based on what we know today. I am particularly, and I believe that policy of keeping a vaccinated individual home in quarantine is not sustainable given that we understand that we are likely going to be living with this virus as an endemic for the near foreseeable future. And if doing a risk-benefit analysis, I do believe that the district's policy actually does more harm than good, because it ignores significant data that has unfolded in the last, particularly in the last few months. The district's approach really ignores, first, the data and statistics regarding who is getting severely ill. And it's not vaccinated individuals, particularly in this age group. And certainly I understand that you have to protect the community at large, but there's a reason why the state and the county do not require vaccinated individuals to quarantine. People are simply not getting seriously ill when they're fully vaccinated, and if they have no underlying conditions. Secondly, the data is clear on the detrimental effect of quarantining students on their educational experience, both immediately and cumulatively. And if the district is not prepared to provide remote instruction to those individuals or some sort of tutoring to keep up, then it's simply not a sustainable policy to adhere to. And in fact, I do believe that in this district in particular, where the demands and the rigor are so great that for a student to miss even one day of school there's a snowball effect. And if the district's going to maintain this policy and be more restrictive than what the local authorities are requiring, I think it's important that you provide either the remote instruction or tutoring services like some other districts do when they require unvaccinated students to stay home. And finally, we can't ignore the detrimental effect that the quarantines have shown to have on a student's mental health and wellness. It's disruptive to their education, and it's disruptive to their social development. In vaccinating my own family,
I have to, I'm so sorry, but you're beyond your time, and you can certainly come back and finish your thought.
If I could. Thank you so much.
You will.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from anyone else for audience to the public? Audience to the public. Going once, going twice. Ms. Gaeta, please.
I'll keep it quick. I apologize. A couple of things. Again, just going back to the protocol, if the district maintains that the masks are required to stop the spread and we wear the masks, you shouldn't be penalized for either the masks work to stop the spread or they don't. And secondly, if the vaccine worked to stop the severity of the illness, then we should be able to rely on that. And it's somewhat disingenuous to say we require these things and they work, but if you're vaccinated and you were wearing a mask, you still have to stay home. So that's my concern. It's not just with my son and this particular quarantine, but going forward, how this is going to be managed, and whether the district is prepared to provide those additional resources so that he can be provided the same access to his education as everybody else. And then finally, I just wanted to add that, and just that because this is such a top district in the state, I do think parents expect a more thoughtful response based not on fear, but on the facts and the data. And fortunately, we are further along in the process now that those things should be considered. And I just want to add that as a lifelong resident of the district whose father served on this board for 9 years, and I've dedicated most of my career to representing and defending school districts, I understand that you're faced with so many difficult decisions, and I don't think anybody doubts where the policy is coming from. But I do think that it's not only misplaced, but based on what we know today, actually does more harm to the students than good. So I just ask that the district reconsider its position, and secondly, look to either add some sort of resources if you're going to require students to stay home, so that they have either tutoring or the teachers themselves be able to provide additional tutoring time so that because going on Google Classroom is simply not enough, not with the demands and the rigors of the curriculum. So I thank you for your time. I wish you all a happy holiday. And Tim, the people that I know on the board, I really appreciate your time from all of you. Thank you so much. Make sure I have my address here. Thank you.
Obviously, I can't address a specific situation because it involves individuals. What I can say is I don't believe that we act based on fear. If anything, I think we have been a leader among school districts in some of the choices that we've made, in some of the programs that we initiated before others, in trying to work thoughtfully to preserve and return to as much of what is normal for kids as we possibly can. As I've said repeatedly, our algorithm has been to move forward incrementally, thoughtfully. Every time we take a new risk, we try to add some sort of mitigating factor that balances out that risk so that we're not elevating risk, even though we are adding back in more activities that might otherwise be risky. And we've been doing that methodically because we haven't wanted to backtrack, because I can't imagine anything more demoralizing to kids than having to return to some of the aspects of education last year that they found so disappointing. And so far, and I certainly do not want to jinx us or anything, but so far that momentum has been sustained forward, and we've been adding back over and over again the things that we want to do for kids. That said, the environment this year is different from last year. Last year we were dealing with the initial COVID, then the Alpha variant. Those two were not as virulent as the Delta variant that we've been dealing with now. We did last year 574 contact tracing investigations, and in none of those cases did we see spread through the school environment. This year already, we've done more than 200 contact tracing investigations, and we have seen spread in the school environment. Spread in contexts that we know last year would not have resulted in spread. So it is a moving target. The disadvantage we have this year is that this new variant is much more transmissible, and that means that we have to have something that compensates for that risk in order to be able to continue our forward progress. What we have mitigating against that is the high rates of vaccination. So first of all, extraordinarily high rates of vaccination in this community, and then high rates of vaccination, particularly among our older high school students. The rate of cases among high school students has been lower than the rate of cases among middle school students, which has been lower than the rate of cases among elementary students, which that rate has been the highest of all. That tracks. We don't have district level data on vaccination, but we do have county level data by age on vaccination. And so obviously no elementary students were vaccinated until just recently. Middle school students are not, the 12 to 15 population is not as vaccinated as the 16 to 18 population. So that seems to track with our experiences. We're also seeing that students who are experiencing breakthrough infections, meaning they've been vaccinated, but they have nevertheless come down with COVID, are experiencing mild cases. But even though their own case is mild, they are infectious to others, and they are infectious with this more transmissible Delta variant. So even though the vaccine has protected them from having a severe case, it does not prevent them from transmitting that case to others. They, from our 200-ish contact tracing investigations, appear to be quite infectious. So what we are trying to do is to strike a balance. So in the case of vaccinated students where, let me take one step back. The state, irrespective of vaccination, says that if there is an exposure, but both parties are wearing well-fitting masks properly worn, which means this doesn't count, this doesn't count, this doesn't count. So I get kids don't enjoy authority, and I get kids are sometimes pushing the boundary, but if there is a circumstance where we cannot say definitively that both masks were worn perfectly, well-fitting masks that were worn covering nose and mouth, then we can't enjoy the state's algorithm, which says that we would not deem these people close contacts. Then the question becomes vaccination status. The CDC recommends testing after 3 to 5 days. So we typically will we request that people test after 3 to 5 days. If we have an exposure that we cannot quantify, this represents the highest risk of all because we can't calculate the risk from that exposure. So we will sometimes use a precautionary quarantine for a couple of days to allow for symptoms to develop if somebody's going to turn positive. CDC says in that 3 to 5 day time frame. If there's a test and it's negative and the incubation period has passed and no virus has come up, then the precautionary quarantine is unwarranted. So these are not 10-day quarantines, these are precautionary quarantines. And this is the compensating factor that we've put into place to deal with an environment that has a more transmissible variant, but more recently, surging cases. And again, this is a tool that is used when we have an exposure that we're unable to quantify because our contact tracing investigation is not able to be as precise as we would want. And the reason we need precision is because we recognize that our job is to keep this entire community safe, not just the kids in the community who, thank heavens, experience mild cases, but the people that they live with and who they bring these things home to who may or may not be able to be vaccinated. All of those people are part of this learning community, and when we make these decisions, we err on the side of conservatism and caution. We want as much for our kids as we can, but we also have to keep people safe. So to the final point on how we support kids in quarantine. Up until very recently, the numbers of students at the high school in particular who have been in quarantine have been very, very low, and we've been able to support them. If those numbers increase, obviously we'll have to look at how we're supporting those students and make sure that we can give them the support that they need. What is ideal is for our young people to do the thing that's not fun and popular, but wear masks properly because they prevent whatever I may have from getting to you. And to some extent, they may prevent what you have from getting to me. But more, the masks protect others. So we are, I think, trying to be very careful, trying to balance a lot of the things that schools do, but also recognizing that schools are a place where lots of people come together, and whatever risks happen outside the doors, walk through the doors together in the morning. And we try to make this a place where we continue our forward momentum of restoring as much of our program as we can. I still see us in a forward momentum posture. I don't see us in retreat. I know that the state just recently added some stricter measures to try and mitigate the recent surge. I don't see additional measures being justified here, but obviously we watch these things closely. And I'd certainly take your point. We're proud of our academics here, and we want our kids to succeed, and we want to support them. And if more support is necessary, I would encourage any parent to talk to the building principal about what your concerns are and how we can do more to support your child to make sure that they're successful.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. That concludes audience to the public. There is only one discussion item that we're adding today. Are there any board members who will volunteer to represent our board at the BOCES budget meetings and then report back to us before we vote on the BOCES budget?
I'll volunteer.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Greco. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Brian Greco as Syosset School District's representative for the BOCES budget meetings. Is there a second, Mr. Gershon? Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thank you so much, Brian. It's very helpful. There's no unfinished business, and the following are new business items. A1 is the approval of staff changes. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Greco, seconded by Ms. Falkove. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? A2 is the approval of the 21-22 stipends and hourly rate activities. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Koshia, seconded by Mr. Gershon. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B1 is the approval of the Committee on Special Education recommendations. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Ms. Falkove. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B2 is the approval of the Committee on Preschool Special Education recommendations. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Koshia, seconded by Dr. Park. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B3 is the authorization for contracts for federal Part B funds. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Ms. Levitan. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B4 is the approval of the school calendar. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Chang, seconded by Dr. Park. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B5 is the authorization of the agreement to defend and indemnify an employee. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Greco, seconded by Mr. Rotolo. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B6 is the approval of a settlement agreement and release. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Chang, seconded by Mr. Gershon. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? B7 is the first reading of Policy 1530, which is smoking and tobacco cannabis use on school premises. Policy 2400, Board of Education meetings, types, agendas, procedures, and minutes. Policy 2410, appointed board officers. Policy 2521, school board conferences, conventions, and workshops. Policy 4526, which is the acceptable use policy, and Policy 6900, for the disposal of broken, surplus, or obsolete district property. This is going to be voted on at the January 10th, 2022 meeting, and copies of the proposed policy will be available for inspection on the district website. Can I have a motion just for the first reading? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Ms. Falkove. Are there any questions? Okay. C1 is the authorization for service contracts. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Chang, seconded by Ms. Koshia. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C2 is the authorization for special education and nursing contracts. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Greco, seconded by Ms. Levitan. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C3 is the approval of a disclosure and consent agreement. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Gershon and Ms. Chang. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C4 is the approval of an intermunicipal agreement with Bayshore Union Free School District. May I have a motion, please? Ms. Falkove, seconded by Mr. Rotolo. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C5 is the approval of the student club charters. May I have a motion, please? Dr. Park, seconded by Ms. Koshia. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C6 is the acceptance of a donation of 3 trees. May I have a motion, please? Mr. Rotolo, seconded by Ms. Falkove. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? C7 is the authorization of the disposal of broken, surplus, and or obsolete equipment and or books. May I have a motion, please? Dr. Park and Ms. Koshia. Are there any questions? All in favor? Opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Motion to adjourn. Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays.